I am fearful of guns, fearful of combat. But as I say this, I respect all that you guys do in the military. And probably my biggest thing of this is how is the majority of individuals that are in the military that I have spoken to have said, we fight, we have done this. The basis of what we do is to protect the Constitution and these amendments and these laws. And this is the first one.
Exactly.
This is the first one. So, Nate Boyer, both of you I've spoken with, and the question is, how does Jimmy Patriot, who has not done anything, quote unquote, patriotic except got behind Facebook and Instagram to do a post or write a blog and not done the opportunity to actually be a part of our military, how is he dictating, one, how I'm supposed to protest?
Yes.
I think that is more un-American than not standing against something that has injustice to you. Brian, I can't tell you, or AJ, who looks amazing, by the way, I can't say, you know what? I need y'all to go to the bathroom, and when you go to the bathroom, only stand up and have your right leg floating in the air.
Exactly.
Like, to me, that's as crazy as it is of when someone is trying to tell you how to protest.
Well, Rodney, I got something else, because you are an avid sports fan, and you have been to a lot of sporting events.
Correct.
Will you tell the people how hypocritical the NFL is being, the NFL owners are being, and the fans are being when it comes to this? Because if you pan the stadium, while the national anthem is playing, you got people sitting down, people with hands in their pockets, people on their phones, and nobody that's standing next to the person says anything. But you know what they're doing on their phone? They're talking about the players who are protesting, who are taking a knee. They're talking about them because they are keyboard gangsters, and so they know that they'll never meet that player face to face, but they're not going to turn to you and tell you to stand up.
Right.
Because they're scared.
Correct.
So
correct. And the crazy part was, I remember the first time Dwayne Brown did it at NRG Stadium. Now, shout out, he's in Seattle now. Shout out to his new baby. But the thing was, and these were people, and I'll put it to you like this to make it personal. These are people that are sitting in the same seats, and they rode with me to the game. Okay?
Yeah.
So that's how close it was. And people are looking at me to see, because, of course, I'm the black one in the row.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah.
They're looking at me to see if I will adhere to said policy or will I protest. Now, I have been the guy that has said, hey, man, look, anthem's on, take off your hat.
Yeah.
Hey, man, matter of fact, when we do the Pledge of Allegiance, that's when you have your hand over your heart. Like the anthem, you don't really do.
Yes.
Why are your hands, they asked me, why are your hands behind you? I was like, well, you don't know if I'm military or not. I could be at parade rest. Look at me throwing some military terms out. But what I'm saying to you is, there's all these questions that people have, but mind you, as those questions are going on, the anthem is going on.
Exactly.
So they are not paying this homage that they feel. And then we can get into it later about, I mean, if you just talk about the anthems, all of the verses, then that whole slave
I was
word.
about to say that. Hey y'all, this your girl AJ representing Houston the right way.
And you see how she deboed that.
Yeah.
I did.
Nits.
She is like, listen. She like double dutching. I'm in.
Well, it was an opportunity there, so why not take
It
it?
surely was. No, you are right.
And don't call me Shirley.
I know that's right. But what I was going to say is to break down the lyrics of the national anthem. I mean, in hindsight, you are trying to get people to, you're forcing people to pay if they don't want to say that, given the fact that now we know we can pull this up on YouTube or Google what the actual lyrics of the national anthem is.
Right.
And anybody of melanated descent shouldn't be able to opt out if they want to, sing that.
And I want to say this to so people can understand, like, it's ultimately not a black and white thing. It is just visually looking like, because the majority of people that are protesting are black. Do not get it twisted, people. This could easily be a single mother thing who has an issue with the pay that women, and the pay difference between women and men. Mind you, this could be a brother or sister of Islamic faith that is in our current regime has now seen that they are not looked upon in the best light by groups of governmental entities. It could be biracial people, which at some point in many of these great states of America were illegal less than like 50 years ago for them to roll with.
Exactly.
So you don't think it won't be you, that you could have something that you protest against. You could be the most staunch, and we'll just say political, Democrat, Republican, whatever. You don't know what's going to turn against you, and you are not in allegiance with what America has. It's no guarantee forever, because we've had many a group that was on the wrong side, Irish, Italian, and then as time has went on, has been assimilated. I mean, you have to think about it like this, man. There was points in my life that all three of us in here had something, great America now, had something that caused us not to be able to vote. Now, all men are created equal, da-da-da-da-da.
There's still a Voting Rights Act.
I'm just saying,
yep,
with that, so the good thing about this is I actually love America, and I was one of the guys, ironically, that actually stood in when these anthems were being played. I thought the guys should stand only because I didn't think it was going to get the result that they were looking for, and the people who were controlling the narrative could flip it, and they did. It's a non-patriotic thing, and that's not at all what it's talking about, which sucks.
Let me jump in here right quick. 832-230-5592 is the number to call in. Thank you for everybody that's listening to me on, listen to us, on Send Your Radio Network app. Thank you for everybody who's watching on the Send Your Radio Network Facebook page. Rodney, I'm going to get a little bit deeper on it, because I got something else written down.
Wait a minute. Before you get deep, I want to ask a question. What about them Canadian games? You know, they play their national anthem too, and it's kind of to the same beat of.
Shout out to old Canada.
Yeah,
yeah. Are they? They're not forcing them to have to stand with their.
Well, that's because that's not going to happen because of Canada don't play that.
That's very funny, but very true.
Yeah, they don't play that type stuff. They're like, hey, look, this is what
I mean, we got the World Cup coming up when they play the anthems. I mean, it's like
the USA ain't in it. So
well, ironically, you just better hope that you hum it.
Because with that being said, Rodney, didn't some of the female soccer players protested? And
shout out to Megan Rapinoe. And the thing is, guys, it is not just about racism in this, okay? Megan Rapinoe, amazing U.S. women's soccer player. She had a problem with the fact that the U.S. women's national team, who is dominant in the world, and the U.S. men's national team are so non-dominant they couldn't even qualify since 1990, which they've done, to the World Cup. But I'm off my soapbox on that. She protested the anthem because that was her voice, and it was against for equal pay.
Yeah.
And yet and still she gets backlash because, of course, now it's not a black and white thing with her. It is a gay and straight thing. So they're going to control the narrative. And that's my only thing against the standing or kneeling for it, is because we can't, or the protesters can't naturally control the narrative, unfortunately.
So here's the thing. I'm going to get a little bit deeper into this thing.
Yeah. Shout out to PV.
So listen, what about the black players, Rodney, who want to stay in the locker room but will have pressure from their sponsors who tell them, listen, these consumers that buy our product, that watch you on our commercials, are now starting to complain because they want the same player that's on the TV that's pushing this product to be on the field. I came to see Cam Newton. I came to see Deshaun Watson. I came to see Dak Prescott. I came to see DeAndre Hopkins. Why are they in the locker room? So now the sponsor's going to be like, we need to talk to you. If you want to keep this endorsement deal, then you need to be on the field. But what about the way that I feel about the national anthem? It doesn't matter. Either you're going to keep this or you're not going to keep it. And not only that, these stadiums that are owned by the owners are going to start putting pressure on those people to put pressure on the players.
For sure. It's going to be a trickle-down effect. You use something like, let's just say NRG because it's named NRG Stadium. Yeah. Granted, they have a naming rights, right? So what if DeAndre Hopkins is the spokesperson for NRG, and watch this, it is the Light It Up for Veterans, right?
Yeah.
Just say that's the promotion that goes on. Don't steal that NRG, please, if you do it. And so then what happens when they go and they say, hey, DeAndre, we're going, you missed the first two games in the locker room. You missed the anthem the first two games. NRG is talking about pulling their naming rights sponsorship if you don't come.
Yeah.
Now, yes, he gets a quote-unquote percentage. Say it's, I don't know, just say $50,000.
Yeah.
But the $20 million a year that the Texans get for those naming rights and that contract, those issues are going to come up. Again, here's the thing about it, man. Honestly, if the NFL had just not said anything.
Yeah.
The numbers of protests have went down, and it was not a hot button issue. Sadly, because they had controlled the narrative so much,
Yep.
y'all unpatriotic. The real deal with it, man, is the problem with it is that there needed to be more diversity in the protest.
Yes.
Long out of in Philly, he really did it. But it put it to you like this: watch what happened if little Aaron Rodgers in that first game in Green Bay stays.
Don't come out.
Game changer on
They're
that.
gonna go off, Rodney.
And because here's the thing, he can't have any behind closed doors. There's not a narrative of him being anti-patriotic, right?
Yeah.
They won't push that.
Yeah.
They won't. And I wish, day and age, as a Cowboys fan that you are, like Dak Prescott, they got a crutch. It's a black dude.
Yeah.
He from the South. They've been mad a whole long time.
Grew up in a trailer.
Right. So then, biracial.
Yep.
Another thing. But what if Golden Boy Tony Romo had done it?
Yeah.
What's this? What if Jason Witten does it? Now that's a great one, right? What if Jason Witten, who is now the host of Monday Night Football, they pan to him and he's sitting down. Now he's not an NFL player.
Oh, he's gonna get a lot of
He's
backlash.
not an employee.
Yeah. Now look, Rodney. Here's another thing too, because I want to keep this thing going. You're still semi in the media. You used to be full-fledged in the media, but you're
Correct.
still semi in the media. That means that I know that you still have a foot in the media.
Right.
Right? So what happens now, Rodney? What happens now? You got 5 of your most prominent African-American players on your team stays in the locker room, right? Game's over. They come up to do the post-game interviews. The first question,
Of course.
because we live in a society where we love clickbait, any hot topic, anything hot, right? And side note, on yesterday, when we were at the OTAs, right, Texas OTAs, right, Coach O'Brien came to the mic, started talking about Santa Fe, right? They asked him about it. He started talking about it. So then he got into it a little bit about, we need the politicians to step up and do this, that, and the other. And it's just, something just doesn't seem right. The very next question by a prominent Houston reporter was, what do you mean not right? And so Coach O'Brien had to come back and say, listen, I'm not here to talk politics. I just want you to know.
Curb check.
Yeah. So with that being said, Rodney, after this game where 5 prominent African-American star players did not come out, what is the first question going to be, either to them or to their teammates? Hey, so we noticed that you weren't out on the field today. Do you want to talk about why you're protesting the national anthem? Why weren't you out there with your teammates? Because that's what's going to be the perception now coming out of the stands.
For sure.
They're not teammates. What's going to happen on social media? Let's cut them. Who's going to be pushing that narrative, though? The media.
Right. And so here's, I think, the most ironic part about that is there's a new quarterback, Alex Smith, and he plays for a team in Washington.
Yes.
So is there a bit of irony that a person could protest the United States of America and our national anthem on a team called the Redskins?
You see what I'm saying?
So there's already some, but there's not enough. I'm so for America, I cannot protest that and get this name Redskin off the table. But I do, listen, Petey, Steve, Rashard, you better not.
Exactly.
Neil or Stan. And the thing is, these guys are saying, they're saying they're not anti-American. They're saying they're not protesting the flag. They're saying they're not against the soldiers. And as soon as they stop saying that, the next group or mob, as I call it, they don't love America. And they're not patriotic. And as a matter of fact, why don't you just quit?
You're already getting paid to play a kid's game.
And I want to mention this to some people that don't know, and I thank for everybody who is watching along on Facebook and also listening. When these guys leave, man, they are regular civilians. I mean, you take away a few, right? You take away Deshaun Watson, you take away JJ. But you know what?